Hey, it's Professor Kaiju with the Kaiju Crunch Report, the only news you can sink your teeth into. That won't get old. This is a brand new series dedicated to bringing you Kaiju and sort of Kaiju related news and content. Also dedicated to getting content out at all. Honestly, with my track record, anything would be just great. This means I'll try to keep these as minimally edited as possible. In each segment I aim to cover several topics in a row and give my quick and quirky opinion on them. Meaning I'll probably wait a little bit for things to pile up unless it's something big that I want to try to jump on and get some relevant views from, because, let's be real, Daddy needs those views. Not sure about saying that again. Enough with this intro, let's chow down. Our first topic is King of the Monsters, or as I like to call it, Godzilla 2014 2. Last weekend at the Tokyo Comic Con, they held a huge panel with the director, Michael Daughtry, for the new movie, revealing concept art, music, a sort of small new teaser, and some figures, revealing designs for all of the monsters. More on those later. And even more recently, a new trailer is being dropped today at the Brazil Comic Con. As for the rest of us, tomorrow, Monday, December the 10th, it should be available in the morning, or at least so says Toho Kingdom on Twitter. Man, I wish I got this out faster so this could be real news. Sort of thought this is why I made this segment. This is fantastic news for Godzilla fans. This entire panel really puts some confidence in this movie, if you didn't already have any before. From the way Daughtry is handling this franchise to what sounds like an amazing updated score from composer Bear McCreary. McCreary? I don't think there's any way you could be disappointed in this movie. I kid. Someone will. As for this trailer, don't get me wrong, I'm excited, but the last several years of trailers has slowly drained my enthusiasm for them. Especially when they have to add final trailer in the title nowadays, it feels like a little too much. Especially when a lot of trailers nowadays seem to give you half the plot and some of the surprises. The first trailer did its job, at least for me. I'm already sold, but I know the big nerdy dork inside me won't be able to say no. Especially when it's something else I could talk about, and especially since I never talked about the first trailer, if I can actually talk about it in a, timely manner. Since we're on the topic of trailers and people who take years to do anything, Netflix recently dropped a trailer stating that they will be streaming the beloved classic anime Neon Genesis Evangelion, created by one of the top anime studios, Gainax, and the crazy person who takes a decade to do anything himself, Hideki Anno, the same man who would go on to direct my favorite G film, Shin Godzilla, Suck It 2014. For those of you not familiar, Evangelion was a critically acclaimed series about a boy named Shinji Ikari being forced to pilot a giant robot and fight off enormous kaiju-like monsters called angels. Also, something about realistically showing how people would act in that situation. Depression, adolescence, libidos, penguins. Almost since its inception, Evangelion has been at the top of many people's best anime lists, but the reason this news is so big is even though it's highly acclaimed, there's really no way to watch it unless you already bought the DVDs when they came out years and years ago. The only way to watch it now would be to buy some overly priced DVDs off of eBay or a bootleg set. Way back in the day, I watched the entirety of the series and enjoyed most of it. But years and years later, the more and more I thought about certain aspects, the more I started to hate it. Some of the seemingly overused symbolism that goes nowhere, Shinji's dad, more symbolism, Shinji, Asuka, the anime's ending, Shinji. But I was much younger at the time, and all I wanted to see was giant robots fight kaiju, not some sort of deeper show that deconstructs the entire genre. I'm actually a little excited to give it another watch and see what I think about it now. Maybe I'll be more into it. Like how Shinji needs to be more into the giant fucking robot. Talking about robots and giant monster fights, a new anime series has dropped in the last few months that has just those two things. I'm talking about, of course, SSSS Gridman, made by the renowned anime studio Trigger, the same wonderful people who gave us the amazing Gurren Lagann and, my personal favorite, Kill la Kill. Lady Satsuki can step on me any day. The show is about a boy named Hibiki that has memory loss and discovers the hyper agent Gridman in an old computer and fuses with him to fight kaiju. At least that's what it says on the wiki. He also has friends that can turn into vehicles and combine with him. There's also this weird guy and waifus. I actually haven't seen any of it yet, though I plan to binge it in the near future. What I do know is that the anime is based off an older tokusatsu property by the name of Gridman the Hyper Agent, which I also haven't seen and know nothing about. What I do know is what those S's stand for, and no, it's not the double SS. It stands for what I grew up with, Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. That's cyber with an S. Because of the 90s, misspelling words was marketable. It was a show along the same lines as Power Rangers, but one of those lesser known shows like VR Troopers. Does anyone actually remember VR Troopers? Anyone? Basically, Japanese suit fighting blended together with American acting. I loved the show to death and would always try to catch it when it came on. How could I not? The villain was voiced by the amazing Tim Curry. Unfortunately, it only ran for one season, and even more unfortunately by the time I decided to buy it, they only had the second volume available. The first has been out of stock everywhere for I think over a year now, and I don't think it's coming back. But in an awesome olive branch-like extension, but the creators of SSSS Gridman put the SSSS in the title to stand for Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, and even put aspects of that show into the anime as, well, in order to go, hey fans of that weird 90s show, you like that stuff? Well, maybe you'll like this stuff. We got monsters, and a giant cyber guy fighting those monsters, and 2D girls you can be creepy about. Like I said, I've been waiting to binge the show, which should be easy as it looks like it's only a 12-episode series, which would be a shame if I end up really enjoying it. I guess I can always try and watch some Samurai Cyber Squad, or maybe the original Gridman, as apparently is available on Amazon Prime. A quick note, I checked this out, they do have it on Prime, but apparently you have to sign up for the Toku subscription for $3.99 a month. So, I might give it a watch. And speaking of anime and things you might watch, let's bring it back to the big G and talk about some controversy over the Godzilla Anime Trilogy. The controversy is, it exists. So, as many of you probably know, Netflix has been releasing the Anime Godzilla Trilogy as they've been coming out in Japan, usually 2 months or so after they make their rounds in the Japanese theaters, with the third, Godzilla Planet Eater, being shown to Japanese audiences last month. I'll say this about the movies, I don't hate them. I think they have some very new and interesting messages and themes for the Godzilla franchise. I just don't think they're done very well. But unlike some people who claim they are the literal worst, I hold no animosity towards them. There are far worse films to harbor hate for. I kid, of course. GMK isn't that bad. What I actually meant to say was So the controversy, there's been 2 things as of late. First, we have an interview with co-director Hiroyuki Seishita, I hope I pronounced that right, that's made its rounds on the internet. The interview has him saying things along the lines of, if the hardcore fans don't like the movies, then we're doing something right, and other statements that make a mockery of previous Godzilla films and its fans, and making sure not to include big dumb smelly monster fights, his words, truly painting the director like a pompous jackass. Here with his opinion on the matter, 1964. 1964, what do you have to say about the director?
What a pompous jackass!
Thanks for that insightful insight. Well, as it turns out, the article's origins were traced back to what some consider the literal hell of the internet, 4chan. And it does look like the entire article was mistranslated. Purposefully or mistakenly, it's uncertain. But it's 4chan, so let's not kid ourselves. Though some statements were somewhat true, they were taken out of context and some were said jokingly by the director. Even the statement about not having big dumb smelly monster fights actually came from the big dumb smelly executives at Toho, who apparently wanted to shift away from the cheesier fights of the Showa era. Suck on that, you pompous neckbeard fans literally attacking the movie for being different and thinking it's obviously the director's fault. Sometimes it's the studios that want to change. Unless it's Gareth Edwards. Then it's Gareth Edwards. Anyway, the takeaway here is, don't believe everything you read on the internet, unless you have a very reputable source, like me, a man who wears a lab coat that claims to have a degree. And especially never believe anything from 4chan. To be honest, you should treat 4chan, coincidentally, like World War II era Japan, looked at suspiciously with much animosity from afar. Then nuke. Anyway, with this new information brought to light, 1964, would you like to add or change your previous statement?
What a nut. Pompous jackass.
Thank you for clearly recording another take. And as for the second bit of controversy, and honestly the worst, this piece of merchandise released by Bandai for the new movie. Oh, don't be confused, it's not a weird bunch of translucent bananas. It's a new toy based off the new design for anime Ghidorah. You see, he looks like an ethereal being made of cosmic energy. So Bandai thought the only way to convey that would be a fishing lure. Make it look like it belongs in a tackle box or a three-headed dildo. Unfortunately, I didn't buy it, so I can't show you just how hideous it is. I have standards. Which brings us to our last topic, something I want to buy the ever-loving fuck out of. At the previously mentioned Tokyo Comic Con, on top of all the other things they revealed the designs for the upcoming Kaiju from King of the Monsters in the form of SH Monster Arts figures. That's right, Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and the true king himself, King Goddamn Ghidorah. All four wonderfully displayed at the convention for all to see. And just look at that. He needs 2 stands for his wings. 2! What a beast! Though, from the pics, it looks like it's one solid sculpt without any posability for the wings. But these are most likely prototypes, and there could be some differences between these and the release, but I want it. I want it right now. Seriously, these are some awesome looking designs. Mothra looks especially bug-like and seems to have the biggest change in design. Which is a little disappointing, only because it would be nice to see some more liberties taken with the others. But I would be lying to say that I'm disappointed. Honestly, I'm very happy with all of these designs. Sometimes it's better to go on the safe side. Michael Daughtry, you have my respect. Sorry, 1991 Ghidorah. Daddy has a new favorite. Nope. Nope. Don't think I'm gonna say that ever again. So that about wraps it up for the first episode of the Kaiju Crunch Report. I know it's not a lot. I think. Guess we'll have to see after I finish filming and editing it. I want to just touch on each topic a little bit and stay focused because I have a real problem with rambling. And I also wanted to get this out quickly because I know I haven't released anything Kaiju related in a while. So with all that being said, let's go to our magnificently monstrous Muppet, Kamada-kun. Kamada-kun, do you have any parting words for our viewers? Great. Just great. Well, this has been the Kaiju Crunch Report. See you all at some point. I swear to God, if you jump out in front of my car again, I will not stop.